Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hiram Figueroa, and welcome to LinkedIn Perspective. It's episode 95, and I just want to be able to say thank you for everyone who's been following this segment for the last 9 months. And I want to wish everyone a belated Happy Mother's Day and future Father's Day and Memorial Day. Today, we're going to be able to talk about a few things that I haven't been able to discuss in quite some time. And the things I'm going to be able to discuss are a few things. I just spoke to my buddy, a brother from another mother, Fred Galvin, who was a retired major for the United States Marine Corps Special Operations and Recon and MASA community. And those who do not know, it was a segment of story of Mossack 7 that was pretty much a now tell-all book. And this book is pretty much right here, Few Bad Men. And in the Few Bad Men right here is going to tell you the true story of United States Marines ambushed in Afghanistan and betrayed in America. So this is a true story of how a team of operators were ambushed in Afghanistan and they were treated as war crime criminals. And back in the United States, a lot of men pretty much in that team lost their livelihoods, their retirement, and pretty much everything that they have. And now they've been able to stay tight with everyone for the last couple of years. So it wasn't until this coming June that this book will be given out, and I just want to be able to say that it's important for people to understand why is it that books like this are coming up. The other thing that I'm going to be able to discuss also is that I have another friend of mine, Rafa Kande, who has a book out, 21st Century Man, and he is the CEO of Man of War. So for us, we just want to be able to see how things are taken care of for the most part, and see how things are pretty much addressed. And there's quite a few things that we haven't been able to stay connected, but I want to make sure that I want to personally thank everyone who's been able to support this broadcast. And if you like this segment of LinkedIn Perspective, like it, tag it, share it, and subscribe to LinkedIn Perspective. It's on a YouTube channel. And I'm looking to be able to take all these individuals that have been subscribing and take it over there and just create more of an awareness. The other thing that I want to be able to address is, hostile work environment and bullying in the workplace. So for most of you, like I stated before, I'm not going to mention any names. I'm not going to mention any location. Currently just going through a situation, where there is things that what we call ring knockers and everything else, and nepotism. So for us, I just wanted to be able to say that if you're suffering through all this situations, you're not alone. Feel free to reach out to me. We can have a discussion because it's important. The other thing I want to be able to talk about is, since this is a virtual town hall, I want to be able to discuss the current situation as far as the financial crisis that's happening here in the United States and all over the world. For me, I got to tell you, I just bought 2 bags of groceries from Walmart the other day, just basic stuff, and ran me $70. So for me, I'm having a hard time, dealing with that. And I can tell you, the gas just went to $6. So if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to call in at 562-286-3111. That is 562-286-3111. Again, the topics that I'm talking today is, I have a good friend of mine. We met finally in person, Fred Galvin, retired Major, United States Marine Corps. First Recon, and then Mossack. And the man just gave me his book right here. Get this book. This is a hot book right now. This is a hot book. It's A Few Bad Men. It's on Amazon. True story of United States Marines ambushed in Afghanistan and betrayed in America. You got to read it. There's no holds barred. Everything is out there for the making. And we spoke, and the guy that we spoke, and I could tell you that there's nothing like connecting with another fellow Marine, regardless if he's an officer or not, and having that kind of brotherhood, And let me see what I got here. Yeah, let me see what I got here. LinkedIn Perspective is a great idea to spread the word on hot topic. That's right, Joe. I'm going to continue that. Hello, Jacqueline. Yeah, I went to the giant lesson self and high cost. Correct. And Giant's a good store. I know. And that's why we're having this conversation. And yeah, the prices and everything in California is going up. And, this is a major concern for everyone. Everyone should be paying attention because guess what? I'm working for the federal government and they're not increasing the prices. And I can tell you that, let me see. Yeah, in Massachusetts too. And I think that we have to be in a situation awareness of what's going on. I spoke to a couple of people offline, and pretty much it's not Russia, it's not everything else, it's the economy. And I can tell you, let me give you some, Jackie. Yes, I know Giant's it's a food store. It's in the East Coast. I have family over there in New Jersey, so they're aware of that. But let's talk about a couple of things, folks. So let's talk about the economy, right? The economy really sucks right now. How is it that people like myself that live in the state of California and is providing an income for just one family member right now, and it's like you walk away with 2 bags of groceries and $70? My Honda that I drive, pretty much, it takes 30, 50, $40 to fill up to fill up a tank when it was like $27. So a lot of things are going on, but for the most part, I just want to be able to re-engage with everyone and bring some awareness of what's going on because I've been off for a while. And the other thing I want to bring up, a serious matter that's important. If you're dealing with a lot of situations in the workplace, right? Hostile work environment, bullying, nepotism, minion-driven, right? Bullying. You need to be able to speak up because I tell you, I'm experiencing that in a certain sense. I'm just going to leave it to you in that general way. And the biggest thing I can honestly tell you is this. For me, I could respect the position, but if you're younger than me and you don't know what the hell you're talking about, I'm not going to have that type of discussion with you. And it is pretty much an important thing that you need to know that when you're working for a boss who doesn't have any world life experience and is telling you how to become a good employee, that's a problem. That's a form of micromanagement. And the other thing you need to understand that you're not alone because you got to be able to talk to people that are suffering from silence also. And in today's society, with the economy going high and there's opportunities for employment and there's opportunities for being terminated as well. CJ, what's up? Stick markets have been popping up in our governments and hide the real economy situation. Also, many politicians are using inside trading. That is correct. And you've touched on something that I was going to speak on, but I appreciate it. So if you like this segment of LinkedIn Perspective, share it, like it, tag it, and make your presence known. And if you like this channel or this segment, subscribe to YouTube channel of LinkedIn Perspective as well. And I tell you, the other thing is my mom just turned 89, and I was thinking about driving to the East Coast, and it's really sucking because the the prices of airline tickets have gone up. And with everything that's going on, think about what's happening to our government, and look what's happening to Ukraine. We're already past 30 days. We're going in the second month, pretty much into the third month of fighting with Ukraine, right? Now, Ukraine fighting Russia. The government is supplying all these weapons, which is fine. But the other thing that I want to be able to say is it's just a matter of time before we step in. Trust me, the economy is bad. The government's not. In all due respect, it's a freedom of speech. This segment is brought to you by LinkedIn Perspective and freedom of speech. This is not to create any anarchy or any type of insurrection towards the government. It's the freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of expression. And as a subscriber for LinkedIn, you're entitled to your opinion, but you have to conduct yourself in a professional manner. So I just got to put out those disclaimers for the Safety and Trust Commission, that committee that's out there, checking on segments like that. And I have to put it out there is important as well. But here's the thing, folks. With everything that's going on, what are you planning to do to make things different? And I tell you, I mean, we've cut down on really going out of places, because just looking at the price of gas it discourages you from going everywhere. The other thing is the sticker prices for the vehicles are over 15,000. They're about 12,000 over the sticker price, And we're limiting our transportation trips and to the most important groceries and health and etc. I agree with you. CJ, what you got? EVs are going good ideas. Too expensive in the average American to purchase. Not enough infrastructure to support EVs. Good point. What's up, Isaac? How you doing? So, again, let's talk about the economy. So, as we get older, we got to figure out what's going to happen. How is it that here in where I live at Riverside County, it went to $6, $6.50, and last about a month and a half ago it was $5, and it continues to go on. I spoke to a buddy of mine that lives in Chicago. It just hit $5 for the first time ever. So I believe that we're all suffering a pinch for what's going on, but we need to pretty much create a situation awareness, even on social media, to be able to express your concerns, right? Because that's what this virtual town hall is all about. So a couple of things that we need to address is this, right? We all suffer from some form of PTSD when we have a financial crisis because we're all under stress. But how can we be able to disseminate that problem? We need to forge some types of relationships that pretty much can help and engage and be validated based on your professional and personal perspectives. And I believe that from that point on, you allow yourselves to understand that, hey, I'm not alone and there's a voice. And this voice is not for me, but for you as well. And it's important to understand that, when we're going through these trials and tribulations of the economy and happening, the war and this gas prices and everything else, we have the biggest thing that's happening outside of the United States. And we're talking about freedom, right? And again, we're talking about freedom, and here it is. Freedom of expression, freedom to be able to, explain what's going on. If you want to know about, I'm doing the best way I can. If you want to know what's going on, get this book. Get this book right here. Fred Galvin, USMC retired. Sal did an awesome job with this book, paperback. It's a true story of the United States Marine Special Operators that were ambushed and pretty much betrayed back home in the United States. And that goes to my buddies that are from the Mossack 3 as well, who's been suffering through all these crises for the last 3 years. So there's a lot of injustice that's going on. The other thing that I want to, since we're on this subject, the Commandant of the Marine Corps is walking back this idea that you don't have to join the Marine Corps to be a Marine. I mean, you don't have to go to boot camp to be a Marine. And that's not sitting well with a lot of the non-enlisted, the non-commissioned officers, the enlisted, especially the terminal lance guys, and those who put in a lot of time. How is it that you expect to come inside the Marine Corps and then earn that and wear that title when you haven't even earned it? You haven't even suffered through silence through boot camp, and you haven't even earned the title to be a non-commissioned officer, staff NCO, and a senior staff NCO, to be able to earn the respect and develop the leadership traits and principles throughout the Marine Corps. The biggest thing that I want to be able to say that is that people should pay attention because we're going to a different direction, and our government and especially the military, as much as I love it, is getting soft on the leadership side. We're losing a lot of talent, and what's happening also is that there's a lot of toxic leadership all around, not only in the military but in the federal government also. We get so too consumed with the ideas that just because we work for the federal government, we're entitled. We're not entitled to anything. But the problem is we lose a sense of reality of what's going on, and we need to explain to educate ourselves that we should be grateful that we have some form of income and we'll be able to do something. And now that we work for the federal government, we should take heed and project a positive outcome of that as well. And today's generation, where we're talking about the men as well, we need to start taking charge and being the alpha dogs that we're designed to be, and not go to the ways of the world, and develop some type of leadership, because our families, our wives and children expect us to be the head of the household. So with that being said, it's important to understand quite a few things: the engagement of society, the engagement of social media, the engagement of freedom of speech, and to understand that if this conversation makes sense to you, then you're not alone, right? You're not alone. You should be able to take that into account and understand that there's a possibility that he's making sense, or I understand where he's coming from. So what do? You take action. You start developing, you start doing some things that are important, and you start appreciating the things that are important as well. It's called the attitude of gratitude. And if you're suffering from some form of disease, and we're talking about addiction, alcohol, drug addiction, you're not alone. So let's help each other out and support that. But the main reason why I chimed into this subject today was to be able to, again, drive this book, A Few Bad Men, by my buddy retired Major Fred Galvin. And great book, and it's on Amazon. It's going to be released in June. So you need to get that. Trust me. And for you guys that are still in the Marine Corps, you should read that. Anybody that's in the military should read that, because they'll hit home. And it should be able to understand why we're so pretty much screwed up in our society. So let me see what CJ is going to say. We're seeing a lot of our businesses move to North Carolina, lower cost of living, lower taxes, new Toyota battery plant coming in. True, CJ, but guess what? Give it a little bit more time, and what's going to happen is we'll have California prices in the Carolinas. It's happening in Arizona. It's happening in Texas. It's happening in other states that a lot of people have flocked into. But it's a good point. Huge population in North Carolina no longer taxes military retirement effective January 1st. Well, that's good to know. Let's see what we got here, Danny. Alternative EVs or hybrids are getting up in 40 to 50 miles per gallon. Danny, that's true. And they're pushing the electrical vehicles as much as possible, right? I have a buddy of mine, Fred, who works for Tesla, and they're coming up with new designs as well. But that's one of the reasons why, for me, my personal opinion, gas prices are up there as well. So, but a good point, and a lot of people understand 40 to 50 miles per gallon speaks a lot, especially when you need these electrical vehicles, CJ, our government needs to limit our terms of politician. Bro, you're not the only one that says that. Nancy Pelosi needs to be out of the House, bro. They need to, need some new blood. It's political all the way. So, a lot of people need to understand that. That's why this program, this segment of LinkedIn Perspective, is for you to be able to express your concerns without being canceled unless you're being disrespectful. And it's a candid conversation for all of us to be able to share our thoughts. And we're on social media and we're live streaming. There's no commercials, there's no sponsors, and pretty much there's no alternative as far as desecrating the government. It's just We live in the land of the free, and we should be able to express our concerns as well. Oh, well, let me see what's going on here. Let me check this out. If Biden's administration would withdraw from Afghanistan, Putin would not start a war in Ukraine. That's a good point. One mistake after another. We are seriously leadership problem, and this is why we're paying the cost today. Gas prices are. Great point. That's a good analogy from an outsider looking in from the United States. I appreciate that. And why aren't the hydrogen fuel cells not used more? Only water is used in the hydrogen fuel. CJ, I couldn't tell you that, but you know what? I think there's a lot of politics in that. Okay. And Jackie, thank you very much. So, for you guys, ladies and gentlemen, it's important to be able to share this segment of it. And this segment of LinkedIn Perspective is brought to you by LinkedIn. And I want to personally thank LinkedIn for giving me the opportunity to create a broadcast. And if you like this segment, share it, tag it, like it, make a comments. If you want something else that we can discuss in a public setting, feel free to put it in the chat, and then I'll be able to review it. But this is important not only for myself to help me understand how things are, but able to communicate to you in the best way I know how, to be able to reach out to you, see if things make sense, not only for me, but for you. We can have a discussion, right, and agree to disagree, but not disrespect each other, because we're all in this together. And when I say we're all in this together, we live in this country together. We live in the land of the free, and we're still having issues. And so instead of turning our backs to each other, we should be helping our fellow man and give from ourselves to others, and the most unfortunate ones. And when I talk about the unfortunate ones, I'm also speaking about the veteran community, the veterans that are lacking in housing, in financial needs, and job searching. And to let you know, I'm putting myself out there also, because I feel that I am, just like you, worth more than what I'm doing. There's no shame in my game, but competition is stiff. But it's not the good old days where you can actually go to an HR department or HR office and meet a person and bring your resume, and they can look at you in the eye and shake your hand and say, why don't you come in my office and have a discussion? Let's see what we can do. Those days are gone, because we have, websites that vet you out, and they give you assessments to do things as well. But the moral of the story is to be able to re-engage with the community on a social media platform, to be able to express the concerns and address serious matters and situation awareness of what's going on today. But the biggest thing also I want to say is that two of my good friends, and I don't have Rafa Conde's book of, Man of War, of 21st Century Man. And this talks about your typical male. And we're talking about average male, about 40, 30 something to 60 something, of where they're at in their lives. They feel that they have a lot of regret, and they feel they have some resentment towards themselves because they didn't push themselves to be able to excel to the best of their ability. So that book is going to be coming out here soon. And as soon as I get it, I'll do another segment. But the biggest thing that I want to be able to share with you is that, this program is for you, not only for me. It helps me to help deal with my combat PTSD, and able to learn how to speak publicly and visually into a computer without being distracted. And at the same time, it allows me to engage with you so we can have a one-on-one conversation for a number of things. It's important to create relationships. It's important to create a dialogue. It's also important to create a form of content that makes sense. We don't want to get into some type of rhetoric that doesn't make any sense just because you're angry. I believe that in this professional platform, you need to be able to express things to be able to get your point across. CJ, what you got here, man? Zoom and social media have reduced their face-to-face interaction and social skills. Most would rather text and tweet. And that's true. That's true. I mean, what can I tell you? I booked true story. I booked 2 appointments, hiring appointments on the same day. And both were one was on Teams and one was on Zoom. And, I I learned from something like that. It's no more of, hey, can you come down and let's meet. It's pretty much a Zoom, texting, emailing. It takes away the content of your character, because we can all be on our best behavior when it comes to an interview. But what happens after the honeymoon, when it's a day-to-day grind? People are going to see, or you're going to see what you're all about. But pretty much, let me see what Sam Ramirez says. Unfortunately, I've seen changes in congressionals that cause many change laws that could make differences, especially now that many people are losing their voice because simply we're going into a passive than active, that we need to make things happen and have more action, not just act like it's I come from a country that the government makes people obey them. Wow. If not, you go to jail. Wow. Unbelievable. So thank you from Nicaragua. Unbelievable. This is exactly what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. So it's important that I, share this segment, but I just want to touch that. And again, the reason why I'm touching a couple of contents or comments and subjects is because I've been out of the loop. But the biggest thing that I want to say is get this freaking book. Oops. Get this book. Few Bad Men. My buddy, Fred Galvin, retired recon Mossad officer, platoon commander, right? Retired 20 years, seen a lot of bad things, happened to a lot of good people, lost a lot of great people. And it says, a true story of the United States Marines ambushed in Afghanistan and betrayed in America. And Sal, thank you very much. And the reason why I say that, I was just in the Recon Challenge not too long ago. And I can tell you, I met a lot of operators that, were missing limbs, legs, arms, arm, leg, and ear, arm, leg, and ear. And they're still pushing like nothing's going on. Let me see what you got to say, Jackie. It's a shame that there's so many of our citizens in the United States compared to how they were in our government, and that they ruin us. You know why, Jackie? Because people got comfortable, right? People got comfortable, and this is what happens. Comfortable gets you killed for a number of reasons. And that's why it's important to be able to have this type of segment, to be able to address this virtual town hall, to have that freedom of expression as well. So with that being said, I want to personally thank everyone, and I'm just going to keep it short today. But the next segment, I'll probably have Fred on here and we'll have a discussion. But I just want to be able to take this half an hour to engage with you, to be able to share quite a few things, and to be able to say that we need to work together as a community. And we need to understand that without being in the community, you're nothing. And you can't do this all by yourself. If you need help, reach out. If you're having some issues, address it. You're not the only one that has problems. And be grateful for what you have, because somebody else has less. So with that being said, Simplify, always beside you. I'll keep it short and sweet. And again, if you like this content, share it, like it, tag it. Okay? And subscribe to LinkedIn Perspective. And if you have any questions, put it in the chat. And until next time, we'll do it again. Simplify. Peace out.